That makes sense. So something you said that I think is true is that many of us are in this situation and that it can be an equalizer for a lot of us who are home with kids. On the flip side, we got a question from several people, which is that it's also hard when you are working at home with kids and you have a lot of coworkers or people on your team who do not have kids. Those people seem to be working more longer hours. They have nothing else going on in terms of commute or other social things that they have to do. So their output has increased. Working parent output has decreased because it's just inevitable when we're trying to do two jobs simultaneously. There's a lot of stress about how this might affect performance reviews, promotions, especially if you're at a company where you're one of the only working parents. So all of a sudden it looks like you've plummeted next to everybody else, when in reality, you're just trying to do two jobs at the exact same time. How can you talk to your managers, your team about that? How would you suggest thinking about this?
It's really hard because this is actually exacerbating a problem that's already in the workforce, right? Like even if everybody's going into the office, but you've still got to pick up your kids from daycare before it closes, or you still got obligations that makes it harder for you to work the same number of hours and sometimes
Absolutely.
visibility. And this is just making that worse. So, as I said, in some of these environments, people are developing more empathy for that because now they have to deal with their kids in a way they didn't used to. And in others, you're right, it's being exacerbated. And really, honestly, my best advice is to be very clear with everybody that you need to negotiate this with, that you are laser focused on the deliverables that matter most, and that everything else, it isn't in that top priority. And that way you communicate to people, yeah, I'm busy, I'm doing all this other stuff, and I'm going to deliver on what matters most, and then negotiate with them what matters most. and that's where we tend to go wrong. We think we're doing the right thing and our boss is thinking we need to be doing something else. Oh no, it's not there. Go fix it. Wait a minute, I have to go help my kid with Zoom. That's when you don't want to be in that situation, right?
Right.
You want to be in the situation where the most critical priorities, and they know that A, you're focused on those, and B, if it's not on that list, it's not as high a priority as getting your children their education and through their day. And
Right.
then that may change. That may change week to week, project to project, day to day. But if you're really delivering on priorities and they know that you're conscious of this fact and they know that you obviously have other obligations, if you don't end up getting the promotion, then maybe you don't need to be there, right?
Yeah.
And I think everybody, bosses, I've got some clients who are leaders who are struggling with this question. How do I keep my team accountable? How do I manage a team distributed? So sometimes your boss is not going to be clear. And when you push for this, like, let's be very clear on what my priorities are, it actually probably helps them a little bit to think about, well, what are the priorities that matter most?